Hello and welcome to Mathematics with Mr. Kumalo. If it's your first time here,
hit that subscribe button
and that notification button
so you get notified when I drop the next video. In today's video, I'm discussing fractions over fractions. Are you guys ready? Let's take a look. Right, so before we look at a fraction of a fraction, we are going to look at a fraction of a whole number. So the only difference between this and that is that in this particular case, we are calculating a fraction of a whole number, and in this case, we are calculating a fraction of a fraction, whereby we will be multiplying two fractions together. Now, if we look back, we'll remember that we can add and subtract fractions, and we can multiply them. When we add or subtract fractions, we need to make the denominators the same, but in this particular case, whereby we are multiplying the fractions together, the rule does not necessarily stand. So looking at two methods for fractions of a whole number, let's go ahead and look at the first one. So we know wherever there is off in mathematics, that simply means multiplication. So here we have 2/3 or 2/3 multiplied by 24, and we can go ahead and write this as 24/1 for the purpose of our calculation. So by writing this as 24/1, we are not changing the 24. Remember, 24 divided by 1 is still 24, but we write the 1 there for the purpose of calculating using this method, so we can multiply the numerator with the numerator and the denominator with the denominator. As I have said, when you are multiplying fractions, the denominators don't have to be the same as when you are adding and subtracting them. So 2 multiplied by 24 gives you 48. 3 multiplied by 1 gives you 3. And now 48 divided by 3 gives you 16. Now, using the second method, we can go and say the whole number 24, which is our whole number, divided by our denominator in this case, which is 3, multiplied by our numerator in this case, which is 2. 3 goes into 24 6 times, multiplied, so 3 goes into 24 8 times, multiplied by 2, and this gives us 16. So as you can see, both methods will lead us to the correct answer, and you may use any method you like. Most of the time I prefer this one, as it is much quicker. Unless my denominator cannot divide into my whole number without leaving a remainder, then I go and opt for this one. Otherwise, I use this method over here. Now, fraction over fraction. So here we have 2/3 or 2/3 multiplied by 1/4. Multiply the numerator with the numerator, the denominator with the denominator. So now we have 2 multiplied by 1, which is 2, 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12. Now, usually we are asked to simplify our answers. As we can see, this answer here is not simplified, and it can still be simplified further. So how do we simplify it? We simplify it by finding the HCF, highest common factor, of 2 and 12. In other words, we want the biggest number that can divide into 2 and 12 without leaving a remainder, and in that particular case, that number would be 2. So it does not mean that it's 2 by default just because 2 is the numerator. We have to go and find that HCF. So now we divide by 2 on top, we divide by 2 on the bottom. 2 divided by 2 gives us 1, and 12 divided by 2 gives us 6, and we cannot simplify further. So the simplified version of this would give us 1/6. So over here again, now we have 3/8, 3/8 multiplied by 2/3. Now 3 multiplied by 2 gives you 6. 8 multiplied by 3 gives you 24. If we have to find the HCF here in order to simplify this, that would mean that we would have to find the biggest number that can divide into 6 and 24. So the HCF of 6 and 24 is 6. So we divide the top with 6 and we divide the bottom with 6. So 6 goes into 6 once and 6 goes into 24 4 times, and this gives us a quarter. Now again, it does not mean because the numerator is 6 we divide by 6. It will not always work out this way. You just need to find that number that divides into both of them, and sometimes you can break that into small parts until you get to the correct answer. Now the last one over here, we're having a fraction and a fraction, but this particular one is called a mixed number. So we are having 3 and 4 over 5, which is a mixed number. So a mixed number is a combination of a whole number and a fraction. So before we go ahead with our calculation, because now we have a mixed number, we have to think of converting our mixed number to an improper fraction, and then we can apply our rules over here. So how do we do that? So now we have 5 over 6 of, now when you convert a mixed number to a improper fraction, you first multiply the whole number with the denominator. So we have 3 multiplied by 5, and then you add whatever is your numerator. In this case, the numerator is 4. 3 multiplied by 5 plus 4, the denominator stays the same. So this gives me, we have 5 over 6 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 gives me 15. 15 plus 4 gives me 19. Now I have 19 over 5, and then I have to go and multiply 19 and 5. So so what does 19 multiplied by 5 give me? So 19 multiplied by 5 will give me 95, and 6 multiplied by 5 will give me 30. And again, our answer or our number is not simplified because now we are having what we call an improper fraction, because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So then to simplify our answer, we have to write it as a mixed number. So how do we do that? So first of all, the denominator is going to stay the same. And then you ask yourself, how many times does 30 go into 95? So 30 divides into 95 3 times. So that is 3 times 30, which is 90. So 30 goes into 95 3 times. 95 minus 90 would give you 5. So on top, you write the number that is remaining. So just to repeat that, the denominator stays the same. Then you ask yourself, 30 goes into 95 how many times? 30 goes into 95 3 times. That would be 3 multiplied by 30 in this particular case, which gives you 90. And then you can go and say 95, your numerator, minus this 90, which gives you the 5 that we wrote over here. We have come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, please subscribe and share the video. Remember, practice makes improvement.